Romanticism and Classicism. Two distinctive tendencies. There are two distinctive tendencies in the history of literature: classic and romantic. The later part of the 18th century and the early part of the 19th century, whose prominent poets were Wordsworth, Coleridge, Scott, Byron, Shelley, Keats, was dominated by the romantic tendency, and hence it is called the Romantic period. During the Victorian period in English, the romantic tendency continued to dominate literature. But the 20th century literature shows signs of the classical tendency. Symptoms of classicism. The distinctive symptoms of classicism are belief in reason, emphasis on the civilized, modern and sophisticated modes of life, interest in urban society, preoccupation with human nature, love for mundane actuality, satirical tendency, expression of accepted moral truth, realistic recognition of things as they are, belief in good and evil, self-conscious traditionalism, and rational sobriety of Latin literature. Symptoms of Romanticism. On the other hand, the symptoms of Romanticism are belief in feelings, imagination and intuition, emphasis on the primitive, medieval and natural modes of life, interest in rural solitude, preoccupation with the aesthetic and spiritual values of external nature, love for visions of the mysterious, the ideal and the infinite, tendency of myth-making, discovery of the beauty that is truth, self-conscious originality and romantic Hellenism. Differentiate between classical and romantic terms. The terms classical and romantic are not so strictly opposed to each other as has been pointed out. In fact, one grows out of the other and they overlap each other. In reality, both the tendencies are present in great works of literature, though in varying proportions. In this connection, Pater has observed in his book, Appreciations, the words classical and romantic, although like many other critical expressions, sometimes abused by those who have understood them too vaguely or too absolutely, yet define two real tendencies in the history of art and literature, used in an exaggerated sense, to express a greater opposition between these tendencies than really exists. They have at times tended to divide people of taste into opposite camps, absolute and vague. The term classical has been used in a too absolute, and therefore, in a misleading sense. So the term romantic has been used much too vaguely, in various accidental senses. The sense in which Scott is called a romantic writer is chiefly this: that in opposition to the literary tradition of the 18th century, he loved strange adventure, and sought it in the Middle Ages, but the romantic spirit is, in reality, ever present. An enduring principle, in the artistic temperament, and the qualities of thought and style which, that and other similar uses of the word romantic really indicate, are indeed but symptoms of a very continuous and widely working influence. Charm of classical and romantic literature. The charm of what is classical, in art or literature, is that of a well-known tale, to which we can, nevertheless, listen over and over again, because it is told so well. To the absolute beauty of its artistic form, is added the accidental, tranquil charm of familiarity. It is the addition of strangeness to beauty that constitute the romantic character in art, and the desire of beauty being a fixed element in every artistic organization. It is the addition of curiosity to the desire of beauty that constitutes the romantic temper. Conclusion. The best type of literature combines in equal proportion both the classical and romantic elements. In it we find strength exercised with restraint, disciplined imagination, perfect harmony. Originality in conformity with the highest standard of literary excellence and, above all, nothing too much. Great writers like Chaucer, Milton, Shakespeare exhibit in their work both the tendencies harmoniously blended. Thank you.